Hello everyone, and welcome to this next MWO chassis variant video. Sorry about my voice, I've currently got a really bad cold, and it's difficult to speak. But you know what, there's always going to be a mech gameplay video that's needed, and Monday is the day where I try to get these uploaded. So, we're on to the first of the Kraken videos. The Kraken, I think, has been one of the most requested mechs for the clan side for a long time by players in MWO. There's a good reason for it. It's got its meta implications of the fact that it's a 100-ton assault mech, but also has an obscene amount of ballistics hardpoints. I mean, we're talking about a mech that has multiple machine guns, but most importantly, yes, so a hell of a lot of ultra AC firepower. This is a mech that is primarily designed as a standoff fire support defense unit. It was originally based on a Star League era prototype that was never put into production, but obviously the clans in Exodus at the time, or the Star League in Exodus, decided to build it themselves. As such, it was an important factor for many burgeoning clan townmans until eventually it would become the Kraken, and then once the Omni-Mech debuted, the Kraken saw less and less use. But it's still used for rearguard units and for Salamas and stuff like that, basically. Probably free berths and stuff like that, probably get to pilot them in these like provisional garrison clusters. It's still an incredibly dangerous mech. The amount of firepower that it can bring means that on the table it can sit back at a considerable distance, never really overheat, and just keep dumping rounds after round after round into targets. So when you consider that these are all ultra ACs, it means you can double tap them and do a fair amount of damage fairly quickly. The other nice thing is that because it's 100 tons, it's also got a hell of a lot of armor, so even if you do decide to try and close the distance with it, it can still take quite a few hits before any support gets over to alleviate the issue, so to speak. In MWO, it's obviously a mech that's got high mounted hardpoints alongside a hell of a lot of ballistics options for you. I mean, just going with something that was just all clan heavy machine guns or light machine guns or any kind of combination, those kind of things, you probably wouldn't go bad on certain maps. But then there's also the fact that it's got a lot of ballistics, so you can experiment and make some pretty nasty builds. I have to admit though, I was a bit pissed off with PGI with the way they handled the Kraken one, considering this is the default, the original, and the one that basically everybody knows as a meme. They put it in a pack that you had to buy the base pack, and then you had to buy the special edition upgrade to get this variant. So you had to pay more for the original Kraken, which I thought was a bit of a shady move on their part to try and get that done. So I wasn't very happy having to pay for the extra amount. I don't begrudge giving a free-to-play game money, but when they know that people obviously want to play the Kraken because of its, you know, the thing that it's well known for, and then you lock it behind a secondary paywall after the initial paywall, it's kind of bullshit. Obviously, the argument can be made that these things will all become C-bills instead in the future. You just gotta wait like 6 or 7 months and they'll be available, but you know, I'm making the video, so I'm gonna get them. Overall, how is the mech? It looks cool. The visual update is really, really nice. Looks a hell of a lot better than the original version, trust me. Stat-wise, it was great. Looks-wise, it was pretty horrible. Unfortunately, I think in MWO, it's just a bit too big a target. It's like the Stone Rhino. It looks amazing, but with MWO's pinpoint accurate sort of setup, speaking of Stone Rhinos, but the way that they have the pinpoint accurate setup for all the firepower, the Kraken just so easily gets burnt down by fire. It's really, really difficult to not draw a hell of a lot of fire yourself. You're extremely slow, you don't have any ability to escape once you get into a fight, so you're kind of stuck. Either you win or you lose. It's very rare that you're going to be able to extricate yourself from a sticky situation, let's say. Ultimately, this will result in you either dying very quickly or getting the lucky hits in to take your opponent out first. By default, the mech comes with virtually maximum armor. It's got pretty generous ammunition loadout, and obviously skills can help improve that. so you can actually take even more ammunition. And to be fair here, I'm taking a fair amount of hits, but this is from a oh god, this is the Innisphere special version of the Stone Rhino. This is the Matar. They've got it like set up with rotaries. The machine guns are a really useful support thing here, at least. So it does help in those situations, but yeah, I think the Kraken is a bit too prone to being sniped. The maps sometimes don't really work for it at all, but that makes sense in a way, I suppose, because this thing isn't meant to stomp across open ground. This is a mech that's supposed to sit at a location and shoot at incoming targets, using cover to be able to back up from any return fire. It doesn't quite work in the weird and wacky world of MechWarrior Online, where everyone just runs around in a big circle and kills each other. Maybe in a game like Living Legends or something like that, and obviously on the table it's a very different scenario, but in MWO, I don't know. As far as the default builds go, custom builds, very different story, of course. Oh, it also has a hilarious thing: when it dies, its top half detaches from its legs, so that sometimes your legs will still stand and your top half will fall off and roll on the floor. It's kind of funny. Other than that though, it's not bad. If you've been waiting for it for a while, it is worth picking up, I suppose, as a pack. Some of the other builds have way bigger guns on it, so you can mess around with those, like hags and different combinations of ultras, but other than that, yeah. If you want to wait for C-builds, go for it. It is good though, it's fun. It just gets killed very easily. But that's all I've got. Thank you for putting up with my bad throat. Have a good one all. Catch you next time. Bye bye.